I got older and my mom just continued to say the same thing and she never changed the name. Like, she always was staying with the same name. I'm like, well, Mom, why? Like, as I got to 16, 17, I'm like, Mom, you've been saying this since I was a kid. So it's like, now my mom never lied to me, so why not believe?
Weirdo. I don't get no what you got in your head, that neural link. You'll never outthink me.
The courtroom was drowning in tension, the kind that makes your skin crawl before chaos explodes. You could feel every heartbeat echoing off the walls as the judge's voice cut through the silence like a knife. And then, boom, the bombshell dropped. The DNA results confirmed the secret JayZ spent decades burying. Mir Satterwhite is his son. The reaction wasn't just whispers, it was raw gasps. People clutching their chests like they'd been sucker punched. The air snapped with shock as the billionaire mogul himself lost it. JayZ, the untouchable giant of Rock Nation, slammed his fists against the table, his voice cracking as he tried to deny what the papers screamed louder than him. Gone was the image of the cold, calculated chess master, always 10 steps ahead. In that second, JayZ wasn't the icon dripping in power. He was a man cornered, stripped bare, fighting a truth that clawed its way out no matter how deep he tried to bury it. We've seen powerful men sweat before, but this was different. JayZ didn't just sweat, he unraveled. The legend who built an empire on control, luxury, and sharp suits suddenly looked like any other man. Broken, desperate, and exposed. The courtroom didn't just hear the verdict, it felt the fall of a king. His face twisted, rage, panic, disbelief, all colliding in real time, and with it the whole illusion of control collapsed.
He got his ass whooped by his sister-in-law on camera. What's her name? Solange. He got his ass. The feds ain't step in and do nothing. The feds don't care about you getting your ass whooped.
For years, JayZ's legal machine had been a fortress built on sealed files, endless delays, and perfectly polished PR statements. Every time ER's name popped up, it was swatted away like a fly, dismissed as noise, a distraction meant to be silenced before it grew too loud. But in one single moment, all of it disintegrated. No clever verse could save him this time. No staged family photo shoot. No billion-dollar brand deal. The secret he spent years burying wasn't just whispered anymore. It was screamed from the headlines. And the crowd he once called fans? They weren't cheering. They were watching like a jury of millions, deciding what was real and what was fake. The wildest part wasn't just the truth itself. It was how it ripped apart the myth he and Beyonce built brick by brick. For more than a decade, they crowned themselves music's royal family, untouchable, flawless, golden. But insiders had always whispered about the cracks, the cheating confessions that turned into chart-topping albums, that infamous elevator beatdown that turned into a meme before it turned into an excuse. And now, this. A hidden son dragged into the spotlight, smashing the perfect facade wide open. If JayZ could keep a secret this massive for so long, then the question becomes, what else has been hidden behind that velvet curtain of power, fame, and carefully staged lies? His face contorted. Rage, panic, desperation. It was like watching a mask crack in real time. For years, JayZ's legal squad had moved like a fortress, hiding behind sealed
Beyonce for sure. I love her. Like, I love Beyonce. JayZ too, I really admire the both of them.
Files, endless delays, and picture-perfect press releases. Every time ER's name crept up, it was brushed off as a sideshow, a nuisance to be silenced before it grew legs. But one announcement ripped it all apart. No rap verse could spin this into art. No staged Carter family photo shoot could cover it. No billion-dollar partnership could shield it. The truth wasn't in the shadows anymore. It was the headline, and his fans weren't clapping. They were watching like a jury of millions, eyes sharp, ready to judge every move. The most dangerous part wasn't just that the secret was out. It was how it shattered the myth he and Beyonce spent over a decade building. They weren't just celebrities, they branded themselves as royalty, music's flawless, untouchable power couple. But cracks had been showing for years. Those so-called confessions turned into album sales. That elevator fight turned into a meme before it ever became an explanation. And now this, a secret son, dragged out into the open, pulling down everything they worked so hard to keep polished. If JayZ could hide this for so long, then fans are left wondering, what else is still locked behind the velvet curtain of power and lies? And don't think Beyoncé's reaction went unnoticed. Word from insiders? She wasn't blindsided. She allegedly knew for years and demanded silence. Protect the children, protect the brand, protect the billions. Her priority was keeping the Carter empire alive.
This is not just about me. If I gotta fight for all of us, I will, but I won't let the court systems just walk over me. I won't let JayZ, I won't let no one just walk over me and tell me something because y'all just saying this. I want the truth. And if we can't go to the Supreme Courts, the regular courts, to find out the truth, what are they here for?
Yeah, all right, we'll get to the legal things that you've been through, the battles.
But silence always comes with a price. When the gavel came down and the DNA made it official, sources say Beyoncé delivered her own bombshell. Fix this mess, or risk losing everything, including me. That's not pillow talk, that's a nuclear ultimatum. But just as the ink on the DNA report was drying, more disturbing whispers surfaced. A former Roc Nation insider claimed this wasn't the end. Another skeleton was about to rattle the cage. Her name? Letitia Meir, a 28-year-old from Maryland who's been publicly saying for years that JayZ is her father, right on Instagram. She even crowned herself JayZ's first daughter, writing, "I've been quiet for far too long," before spilling her truth online. She swore that in her hometown, everyone already knew. Even her own sister backed her up, claiming she personally introduced JayZ to Letitia's mother. The allegations don't stop at paternity. Oh no, the whispers go much deeper. Industry insiders insist JayZ has been quietly supporting Letitia for years, even allegedly buying her a house in Cambridge, Maryland. The catch? She could live there comfortably, but she could never acknowledge him publicly. This wasn't some contract written in ink. It was a deal written in silence. Monthly payments, not DNA results, were the currency of truth. And one person who fueled the fire was none other than rapper and former friend Oschino from State Property. He's gone on record hinting that JayZ kept certain people on retainer, not by love or loyalty, but by hush money, painting the mogul as a man who manages scandals, not by facing them, but by paying them off. If that's true, then it screams of a pattern, an empire built not on trust, but on payoffs, lies, and cover-ups. And it raises the ugliest question of them all. How long has this been going on?
After they are done with Diddy, JayZ is up next to be exposed.
Because we've seen JayZ's playbook before, firing back in court filings, accusing Ramirez's camp of harassment, calling it a decades-long obsession meant to ruin him. We've heard him rap about it too, bragging like it was a joke, likening himself to Michael Jackson with the line, "The kid ain't mine." But bold words in a verse don't hold up in federal court. This time, the papers hit harder than any diss track, and JayZ couldn't rhyme his way out. If Ramir was the first domino, Letitia might be the one to knock the entire line down, threatening not just JayZ's image, but everything tied to his empire. And let's not ignore the shadow hanging over all of this, Beyoncé. If she truly knew and stood by while he buried the truth, then her silence isn't strength, it's complicity. The queen of empowerment suddenly looks like she was guarding a lie, and that sparkling aura of independence begins to twist into something far darker. The sting of betrayal cuts even deeper because JayZ has always sold himself as the blueprint of authenticity. The kid from Brooklyn's Marcy Projects who clawed his way to billionaire status through pure hustle and talent. That was his legend. But authenticity doesn't survive when your personal life looks like a stack of sealed court dockets. Fans aren't just questioning the man, they're questioning the myth. Was it really raw talent that built his empire? Or an army of high-priced lawyers and spin doctors cleaning up behind him?
There are people who did short sales on their stocks right after that, made a lot of money, including Sean Carter. Now I'm going to ask you, why would non-disclosure agreements need to be signed for an accident?
The same fans who once screamed every lyric at concerts are now scrolling through Letitia's Instagram, comparing her features to his, and shaking their heads at the resemblance that's just too sharp to ignore. And this isn't just about a paternity test, it's about the mirror staring back at him. The undeniable proof that truth has a face, and it's staring down the billionaire who once claimed to be untouchable. This scandal doesn't exist in a vacuum either. JayZ's name has been dragged through the darker corners of the industry before. Lawsuits, messy ties, whispers about other power players with dirt to hide. Now, every new headline chips away at the myth of the unshakable mogul. Ramir's DNA confirmation was the first crack. Beyoncé's alleged ultimatum tightened the noose. And now, Letitia's story is resurfacing with fresh energy, threatening to blow what's left of the empire wide open. The question isn't just if JayZ can survive this storm, it's if there's anything left to salvage once all the skeletons step out of the shadows and into the light. For years, JayZ didn't just sell music, he sold himself as something bigger, a mogul, a visionary. The calm in the middle of hip-hop's chaos. He stood shoulder to shoulder with politicians, funded scholarships, spoke out about justice and responsibility. He became a living symbol of what it meant to rise from nothing and turn struggle into progress. But when you strip away the speeches, the philanthropy, and the polished interviews, the contradiction hits like a slap. How can the man who demanded truth and accountability from others spend more than a decade dodging one simple DNA test? How can someone rap endlessly about loyalty and family values, yet turn his back on children who look just like him? That hypocrisy is now burning through his image faster than any hit single can repair. The damage isn't light. It's brutal. Every interview where he called himself a role model, every lyric where he painted himself as a leader, now cuts like a double-edged sword. His empire wasn't built just on music. It was built on image, and that image is crumbling in real time. Fans who once praised him as a beacon of responsibility now shake their heads in disbelief. The betrayal isn't just about a hidden family, it's about selling truth while living a lie. And even casual listeners, people who never cared much about the scandals, are now asking the same question.
Beyonce and JayZ will do anything to destroy anyone who speaks out against them. Okay, I get the threats.
If he lied about this, then what else has been smoke and mirrors all along? JayZ's kingdom is trembling, Beyoncé's silence is turning into its own scandal, and the legacy he tried to protect is slipping right through his fingers. And then comes the ripple effect, the kind that shakes an empire to its core. The Carters aren't just about music. Their brand is a billion-dollar dynasty stretching across streaming, fashion, endorsements, philanthropy, and carefully crafted public image. JayZ and Beyoncé weren't sold as entertainers, they were packaged as royalty. But when one side of that partnership cracks, the other feels the tremors immediately. Beyoncé's silence has been deafening, and silence can cut louder than words. Every Instagram caption, every carefully posed red carpet smile now feels like a clue. Fans are dissecting it all, wondering, is the Queen Bee quietly furious? Is this the unraveling of a marriage that's been branded as unbreakable? And if the marriage unravels, what happens to the empire they've ruled side by side? Let's not downplay the stakes here. Ivy Park isn't just a fashion line, it's a multi-million-dollar brand tied to mega corporations. Roc Nation isn't just a label, it's a machine managing artists, athletes, contracts, and global campaigns. Together, their brand equity is astronomical, but all of it depends on one fragile thing, a spotless image. If that image collapses, the fallout won't stop at gossip blogs. It will crawl into boardrooms, endorsements, partnerships, and deals worth hundreds of millions. The empire that once looked bulletproof suddenly looks fragile. And in a world where reputation is currency, fragility is deadly. And as the fire burns, new oxygen keeps fueling it. Letitia's name is circling louder and louder. The Maryland woman who insists JayZ is her father, with family members backing her story, painting a picture that's hard to dismiss. Add to that the whispers of hush agreements, secret homes, quiet financial support, and suddenly this isn't just scandal, it's legacy, shattering. Now the question fans are whispering feels chilling in its simplicity. Is this only the beginning? This isn't shaping up to be a one-off scandal. It's looking like a pattern. Ramir's courtroom DNA bombshell was the first domino. Letitia's claims might be the second. And the chilling part? Nobody knows how many more could be lined up, waiting to fall. The rumor mill is already spinning out of control. Old lyrics being picked apart like hidden confessions. Old interviews replayed with a brand new lens. That line where JayZ rapped, "The kid ain't mine." Fans say it doesn't sound like bravado anymore. It sounds like desperation, a man mocking what he was too scared to face. Former associates are speaking up too, connecting timelines, dropping hints, teasing stories that could surface at any moment. Every skeleton from JayZ's past is being dragged out, and with the momentum of this scandal, any one of them could explode into the next headline. The danger isn't just about reputation, it's about history itself. JayZ has spent decades crafting the image of a cultural icon, the architect of hip-hop's business empire, the man who turned street credibility into corporate boardrooms. But legacies, they can crumble overnight. We've seen moguls who looked untouchable fall in an instant, erased by scandals that rewrote their stories forever. If the narrative flips, from visionary leader to serial deceiver,
Oh, no, that was it. No, when I get nervous, I tell the truth.
the stain won't just touch his personal life, it'll bleed into the myth of JayZ himself, tarnishing every achievement, every milestone, every speech where he painted himself as bigger than hip-hop. And through it all, the world is fixated on one figure, Beyonce. Her silence is the loudest sound in the room. If she chooses to stand beside him, she might stabilize the dynasty. But if she steps away, that move alone could collapse the Carter empire in one breathtaking fall. This isn't looking like a one-off scandal, it's smelling like a pattern. Ramir's DNA confirmation was the first domino. Letitia might be the second. And the scariest part? Nobody knows how many more are lined up behind them, waiting to fall. The rumor mill is already spinning out of control. Old lyrics are being replayed like confessions hiding in plain sight. That cocky rap line, "The kid ain't mine," doesn't sound like swagger anymore. It sounds like desperation. A man trying to rap his way out of a truth he couldn't contain. Old interviews are being dug up too, with fans pointing out the evasions that now feel almost too obvious. And as former associates start speaking more freely, connecting timelines and hinting at stories yet to come, it feels like every skeleton JayZ ever tried to bury is clawing its way back to the surface. The danger isn't just about reputation, it's about history itself. JayZ spent decades building his name into a cultural monument, the architect of hip-hop's business revolution, the man who took street credibility into corporate boardrooms, the mogul who crowned himself bigger than the genre. But legacies can crumble overnight. We've seen icons fall before, erased by one scandal that rewrote everything they stood for. If the story flips from visionary leader to serial deceiver, the stain won't stop at his music. It'll stain the entire myth of JayZ. The billionaire genius, the voice of hustle, the symbol of progress, all of it could collapse into smoke. And through it all, the world is staring at Beyonce. She holds the power to either steady the dynasty or finish it off. But her silence is cutting sharper by the day. If she keeps standing by his side, people may accuse her of complicity, of protecting the lie all these years. But if she walks away, that's the signal that even Queen Bey, the woman who endured his betrayals before, has finally hit her breaking point. Industry whispers claim her ultimatum is already on the table, that her tolerance is gone, that their marriage is hanging by a single thread. Imagine the fallout. If the most powerful couple in music were to split under this storm, the shockwaves would be seismic. Every endorsement, every business deal, every tour, every dollar tied to the Carter name could tremble. And that brings us to the chilling reality. This isn't just about a courtroom DNA test. It's about the slow, messy unmasking of power. A story too carefully controlled for too long, now unraveling thread by thread.
Is it really a conspiracy if the same person keeps benefiting off the same kind of tragedy over?
Every allegation feeds the fire, every insider account fuels suspicion, and every moment of silence from the Carters makes the world wonder, what else is lurking in the shadows? If one secret child can threaten to wreck a billion-dollar dynasty, what happens if two or more step forward? What does it do to a man to spend decades burying the truth of his own bloodline? The psychological toll of living a double life, this massive, can't be underestimated. JayZ may have built walls of denial, but those walls are starting to crack, and once they collapse, there may be no empire left to rebuild. Legal tricks, delays, and deflections. JayZ's lawyers have played every card in the book, but every layer of defense has only tightened the pressure around him. Carrying secrets this heavy corrodes even the sharpest minds. And we saw the cracks spill out in that courtroom eruption, anger boiling over where calm once ruled. The man who built an empire on control is now unraveling under the weight of the very lies he thought would shield him. And it begs the question, was the empire ever as strong as it looked? Or has it always been shadowed by the burden of a double life? Then there's Beyonce, caught in the cruel crossfire between loyalty and disillusionment. Imagine the strain of smiling for cameras, performing flawless perfection on stage, while knowing the foundation of her marriage is fractured beneath her feet. The queen of composure, the artist who built her brand on empowerment and resilience, forced to live with cracks she couldn't show the world. The toll of silence can cut just as deep as betrayal. Every red carpet appearance, every family photo becomes less about love and more about performance, layering glamour over private storms. But that kind of dual existence doesn't come without a cost. Over time, it chips away at trust until even the most regal facade begins to tremble. And then there's Ramir. His scars are different, but just as devastating. From childhood into adulthood, he's lived under whispers, bearing the absence of acknowledgement that shapes identity itself. To grow up being told that one of the world's biggest icons is your father, while simultaneously being denied by him, creates a wound no payout or press release could ever heal. His battle was never about chasing a billionaire's fortune, it was about chasing legitimacy. About wanting recognition from the man whose face mirrors his own. The years of rejections, the dismissals, the endless courtrooms, they all point to a young man who didn't just fight for money, but
felonies. I'm not crazy and none of that. It's like, I just want the truth, and it's so hard to get it from the courts. And it seems like JayZ don't want to say anything. So, I don't want to see him go down for something that you could have just got taken care of. That's it.
for selfhood, for belonging, for the right to be seen. Secrets like these never stay still. They ripple through every corner of life, every choice, every relationship. Every move becomes twisted around the lie. For JayZ, that relentless obsession with guarding the truth may explain his ruthless business instincts, his obsession with control, his deep mistrust of outsiders. For Beyonce, the pressure to protect the image at all costs might explain her flawless perfectionism, her silence outside of carefully curated artistry. And for Ramir, the battle for acknowledgement has defined his very identity. His pursuit of music, his search for belonging, his fight to carve a place in a world where the man celebrated as his father refused to claim him. This lie has shaped his entire existence. In its own way, the deception became the architect of all their lives. Psychologists often warn, lies multiply. One denial leads to another. One silence becomes a chain of cover-ups, evasions, compromises, until you're living in a labyrinth of deception. And for the Carters, this web has been spinning for decades. But the human mind isn't built to carry contradictions forever. Sooner or later, the truth always claws its way out. And when it does, the collapse hits just as hard inside as it does outside. And that's why this scandal cuts so deep. This isn't just the story of an empire cracking. It's the story of people, flawed, human, unraveling under the weight of secrets stretched across decades. We're not just witnessing the collapse of a public image. We're watching the private cost of silence.
What's up, what's up? This is Beyonce on the red carpet with one of the hottest female artists out here, Miss Aaliyah. How you doing, girl?
It's so good to see you again.
Broken trust, fractured identities, scars that money can't hide. The question now is haunting. Can any of them, JayZ, Beyonce, or Ramir, ever escape the shadow of these lies? Or has the truth already bound them forever? This isn't just a scandal. It's a cautionary tale. Power builds empires, but lies destroy them. JayZ's legacy is dangling by a thread. Beyonce's loyalty is under the microscope. And the empire they built together trembles with every new revelation. Will history remember this as the scandal that ended it all? Or the storm the Carters somehow survived? But what do you think? Can they weather the fire? Or are we watching the most powerful couple in music implode before our very eyes? Drop your thoughts in the comments, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and I'll see you next time.